Okay, so I'm here with a group of international students from Strategy 425. We're going to discuss the topic of what kind of things, surprised you, either pleasantly or unpleasantly, when you arrived at school. You know, talk about what kind of expectations you have coming in, and what you found out. So I just throw this question out to the group, and anybody can get started.
I want to start.
All
well,
right.
just something easy. When you come into school, you have to obviously come into town, and I wasn't really expecting Ann Arbor to be such a great little city. I mean, I've lived in other university towns before, and they aren't as vibrant. There aren't as many activities to do. There isn't as much diversity in the towns. And that's what makes Ann Arbor so special. A lot of people say that it's kind of like a bubble within Michigan, in the sense that of all the diversity that I've been talking about, there's so many great companies, a lot of industry going on, but then at the same time, it's such a rich academic ambiance going on, and I really like that about Ann Arbor. The transportation infrastructure helps everybody. You can get around without a car easily. Yeah, that's one of the pleasant surprises that I got as soon as I came to school.
Okay, thank you.
I think
Yes.
Be the next one. One thing that I learned a lot is networking with recruiters because personally, like I'm from Singapore and we don't do networking for recruiting, so it's just like dropping your resume and your cover letter and just wait for a call. And down here it's like you have to make your own appointment, informational interviews. For those in banking, we know about that. So like at first everyone is pretty nervous about like how to go about making the appointment, what should you say in the email, and then like when you're inside the room with the recruiter one-on-one for 30 minutes, what are you going to ask, how are you going to respond, how are you going to impress the recruiter, and then like towards the rest, I think most of us are just like getting used to the whole process and like just want to go into find out the answers for the questions that we really want to know so that we can be more prepared for the interview and not just to like impress the recruiter, and that can actually come across as being like interested and being passionate about their position that you're trying to apply. So that's a very useful skill that I've learned.
So you had to really interact interpersonally with recruiters a lot more as part of the career process than you expected
which
then.
I've never done that before, like before business school, before this recruiting.
How would you, if you had to do it again, how would you prepare for such a thing? If you were, before you came in, what would you do?
I think if I were to go through this thing again, I would like make much more calls and send much more emails than I have because like in the beginning I'm just like pretty afraid, so I would hesitate before sending just like one email and hesitate before just making one call. So like if you get comfortable with it, you just like pick up the phone and call, or you just like type an email and send out. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Anybody else? Yeah.
Take it. Go back to the town. I mean, for me, I heard a little bit about the football, but I've never been in a football game, and I've never seen a town like all colored in yellow, everything. The first Saturday was amazing. The bus that we have here, like for the MBA students, all the tailgates all around the town. So for me, it was an amazing experience. Although I've been in few soccer games in Europe, it's not compared to that.
Huh. Yeah, I think this as the unique thing about Ross is that it also has a really good sports team, and most other good business programs don't have good sports team, and it really lends a very different feel to it, to the town and to the spirit, I think. Anybody else? Yeah.
So I think the one thing that really surprised me is the location, and both in good way and bad way. Before I came here, I didn't really do any research about location.
Where are you from?
From China.
Ah.
Yeah, so I just know, Ann Arbor's in the middle of nowhere. So like, when I came here, it's around September, weather is nice, but then people start telling me that winter is like really bad. I didn't really believe it, but then, like when it comes to winter, the weather is just so bad. I was like very surprised. I live up to North Campus my freshman year, and it was even worse. I had to wait for the bus, you know, the bus station and stuff.
This is a good year. This is a good winter.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
Last winter.
I mean, for the past 2 years, it snows in April, so hopefully it doesn't happen this year. Who knows? But then in a good way, I would say, you know, in the middle of nowhere, this location, still so many companies come to recruit here, you know, at great career resource, and even compared to some like other like, you know, even like better schools, I feel like nowhere we're like even doing better, and like I would say like at least for the banking industry, our school has been placing a lot of people on Wall Street and stuff. So I would say this is a point that really surprised me.
Yeah. Great.
I'll be the next one. So, as an MBA, I had a lot of expectations. Coming from Israel, I had a lot of expectations regarding what I'll get from the actual academic program. I had specific goals in mind. I looked at general management, at becoming a big CEO at someday. And as things progressed, I learned that even though Michigan is not a finance school, I learned that finance was something that I was really into. And eventually, I was able to get an iBanking internship and got in a great bank, so it's something I did not expect and was definitely pleasantly surprised by.
Good, thank you. Maybe one more. Anybody wants to share one more? Yeah.
So I'll kind of like speak to you on the fact that is when I came to school, I thought I had a pretty good idea of where I wanted to go, and I was firmly set on that. But I guess B school has a way of kind of like maybe it pushes you into certain directions. So you have to kind of like make sure that is you really keep that belief that is where you want to go. And I guess the amount of pressure that you can have on going into certain directions in B school, that was what surprised me, and it took me a while to kind of like get back to my original beliefs.
Yeah. So when you first come up, you get a lot of options given to you, and then it makes you, and there's a lot of different people with different thoughts, and it makes you think about maybe that's yeah in the beginning. Yeah, it's quite an interesting process. Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much, guys, and see you next.